Hi everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. I haven't been playing so much Legacy recently, but a new set was just released, Streets of New Capenna. I think the set will be pretty interesting for Legacy. It doesn't seem, super over the top, super overpowered, but I think it might introduce a lot of interesting role players into the format, a couple of which we're going to be trying out today. The one I wanted to highlight here was Broker's Charm. It's the main thing that I'm going to be testing out. So this is one of the new charms from the most recent set. The set is a wedge set, and each wedge has a charm. This one has 3 modes. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. You can destroy an enchantment, or you can draw 2 cards. And the last mode is definitely the one that caught my eye and had me thinking about this because there's another charm that has seen some play in Legacy, and that one is called Archmage's Charm. If you know the Legacy player Mark Voigt, he won the last Legacy GP back in the day with Control, basically, back when Arkham's Astrolabe was a legal card. And he really likes this card. He thinks it's very good. I've played it on and off in some of my lists. I think it's very good, but very tough on the mana. Triple blue is a big ask. And so even though I think the modes on Broker's Charm are a little bit worse, I think it's worth trying out because the mana is so much easier and kind of synergizes well with fetching basics and synergizes well with Ice-Fang Coatl in a few ways. One, because of the basic idea where you want to get snow-covered island, snow-covered forest, play your Ice-Fang Coatl, and then next turn you can just fetch your plains for Broker's Charm. Your Coatl has Death Touch. It's very fluid, very synergistic. Additionally, when Coatl has Death Touch, combined with Broker's Charm, it's a way to kill any creature, which is kind of nice. You don't have to have a creature with more power than they have toughness. That's a neat little trick. And then it being a blue card and a green card is nice for Force of Will or Endurance, or Force of Vigor and the sideboard. So kind of wanted to try that out. Additionally, we have 1 copy of Depopulate in the sideboard. This is the new Wrath card from the set. Each player who controls a multicolored creature draws a card, then destroy all creatures. I'm testing this out, 1/1 split with Supreme Verdict. The main matchup where you would definitely want this to be a second Supreme Verdict would be the Delver matchup. I don't think I'm going to bring it in against Delver just because 4 mana and can be countered is a very big liability. However, I do think that this will be, if we run into any Death and Taxes, any Elves, this will be pretty relevant because obviously the uncounterability is not an issue and the drawing a card is not an issue. Neither of these decks have many multicolored creatures, but we do have multicolored creatures, and so sometimes something that is awkward that can come up is if you're on a standoff where you have Ice-Fang in play, your opponent has some creatures in play, and you don't really want to wrath the board because you're losing some stuff too. The fact that this is drawing a card is kind of makes that pretty nice. And then the one last card we're going to be testing is Unlicensed Hearse. This is one of the standout cards from the new set, along with Ledger Shredder. So for 2 mana, it's an artifact, and you can tap to exile 2 target cards from a single graveyard. And my thought is that 2 mana is a lot against the very fast graveyard decks, but combined with our force effects, our endurances, and our surgicals, this can be another thing where it's once we survive the first couple turns, this can be pretty good. And then I think this is graveyard hate that you can play against Delver because the 2 cards a turn is really nice, where it helps keep your opponent off Delirium for Dragon's Rage Channeler, and then it can kind of control the graveyard from Murktide region, or at the very least make it so that the Murktide region is a lot smaller when it comes down. If you just get rid of 2 instants one turn, 2 sorceries the next turn, and then a Murktide comes down after that, it gets pretty. It's going to be pretty small most of the time. And then second, Murktide, don't even think about it. It's just the graveyard is too small. So I wanted to try it out. And yeah, that's kind of the extent of the new cards we're playing. And let's just jump right into a league. All right, welcome to round 1. We won the die roll, which is surprising. Kidding. This kind of looks pretty good. I will keep. Obviously, I'm going to ponder turn 1, looking for lands or force effects. Well, that's awkward, huh? Because we can't play Coatl. It's probably still worth it. Just because, like, if it's a matchup where Coatl is important, usually that means it's a creature matchup, and the Swords of Plowshares are going to buy us a lot of time. And then, obviously, if it's more of a combo deck, it's very important to draw the interaction. I decided to draw Endurance instead of Mystical Dispute here because I was, like, a little bit worried about graveyard decks. But that might not be an issue, seeing Savannah. And I could have played the dress down there to like cycle, try to find a third land. I feel like Savannah decks, there's some chance that like this could prevent an ETB, and like I'm not super. We'll find our lands eventually. We'll find them eventually. Yeah, sure. Interesting. Cycling Unearth. So maybe this is like some 4-color deck, like a bug deck, flashing white for better removal spells, with like Uros and Strix and things like this. They also need lands. I'm gonna play this. Because I would like to find a land. Alas. What am I supposed to do here? Probably discard like one of the Swords of Plowshares. Yeah. I could have played the Endurance just as like pitch 2 cards, play a 3/4, but I felt like that was worse than discarding a card, basically. Alright, I'll force this pitching force. And if they force back, I have a dispute. And probably they force back. Oh, maybe they didn't. Alright. Alright, no force. No force, no force. Alright. No force, no lands. No nothing. So they probably have an unearth for this grist. And maybe it gets an endurance 2 for 1 myself again. Not ideal, but hopefully between Charm and Narset I can make back this card disadvantage. Oh, would you look at that? I will exile the Ice-Fang Coatl because I want to cast the new card. It's actually very annoying that like whatever. I just don't care enough. I think keeping was correct there. It just kind of sucks that in 3 more draws we didn't draw any lands or cantrips, and then they missed their third land drop as well, but then they withdrew land, and then that perfectly allowed them to play around exactly what we had. So oh well. We'll go to the sideboard. I know what they're doing. So this is still good. This is still good. This is still good. And Hearse and Wasteland are both good. And so is Veil of Summer. What do I want? I probably don't want like too many force effects, and then I'll trim like a little bit of this because we have Prismatic Ending for like the big important things. And I'll cut Verdict. I don't think Verdict's that necessary. They do create board states for sure, but I think we can tassel 1 for 1 with them easily enough. I'm excited to see Hearse. I hope this is good. Obviously, the opponent is somewhat graveyard oriented, and so being able to like clip an Uro, clip their creatures so that they're unearths just have to cycle. I like this. I saw Wasteland, so I definitely want to fetch a basic island here and ponder. This all seems good enough. We can choose between the Coatl and the Hearse next turn. We can also decide if we want to fetch a basic forest or if we want to leave out the tropical island. I think I'm going to fetch this just because if they fetch a and then I'm actually going to do this in their upkeep. Just get it out now. I think they showed us a couple non-basics, so I think that guaranteeing like Uro into Wasteland is such a good sequence that I don't want to risk getting Wastelanded here. I have a feeling they're going to play Baleful Strix. Oh, okay. Never mind. They did trade even for Coatl with Withering Command. A good card, in my opinion, as I'm sure viewers of the channel know. So yeah, I'm just going to do the Uro play. And call it a day. I believe they returned the Flooded Strand for ability. Ironic, a lot of their actual physical lands to fetch are in the graveyard, which is interesting. I think I'm just gonna escape the Uro. This can't be that bad, right? If they have a Swords to Plowshares, it's fine. They have Ice-Fang Coatl, also fine. If they force this, it's a 2 for 0. Probably should have thought about it a little more and then let it resolve, just so I could see like, oh, maybe he has Forceful in hand. I let that resolve too quickly for sure. But I think here I will just Brainstorm and then probably play out the Hearse. Eat some lands out of their graveyard. I think that's what I want to do, just because they have Withering Command and probably Life from the Loam. They chose not to shuffle their library, so well, maybe just playing the Coatl is better now. Definitely put back one land, and probably just one this as well. Maybe getting the Hearse down early is just what I want to do, though. Oh, it's close. It's so bad versus like the Woodland commands and stuff, and like Prismatic Ending. Maybe I'm just supposed to hold it. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it. Because of my mana base, I can't ponder Ice-Fang and Dispute, so I'm just gonna hold the Ice-Fang. and Dispute. I think that's more important than Ponder. I'm not really looking for anything. I have another Coatl. It's like a little bit more challenging. I'm not really scared of any like 3-drop they could play. So I think I'm just gonna offer this trade. Like even Grist, I just have the ending for. Ooh, actually, with drawing the Teferi, that actually changes my decision. I don't want to trade anymore because I want to bounce my Coatl, get my draw too. You know. Looks like the opponent has a force that they want to use, but have decided against. And I will bounce this, draw a card. I'm actually very surprised that they did that. Given that like now the force is useless and this is, they of course know that this is a draw too. But what do I know? What do I know? I am not my opponent. It looks like they're trying to Prismatic Ending my Teferi. So I'll just play this now while I know it will resolve. And if they offer the trade this time, I think will I take it? No, I won't take it because if they have an Earth, that's a bad trade for me, basically. Because right now, I can like blank an Earth for a bit. Like with the hearse is what I'm trying to say. I apologize. I didn't finish that thought. The hearse can blank unearth, which I think if they're offering the trade is something that they might have in hand / are looking to do. Yep, I'm okay with that. Actually, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna ponder. Oh, the game has ended. I guess they felt they were far enough behind that with the arrow coming back, it was probably gonna be a good game. Which I could see that. I think because they're probably running like 3 to 4 arrow. I think I want. Oh, okay. I guess they had to leave or do something. Weird match. It would have been very grindy. I would have definitely just cut a Broker's Charm for the surgical and then seen what happened there. Yeah, all right. Want to know? haven't tested new cards yet. We'll be back for the next round. Hopefully, get to test some. All right, we are here for round 2. Wasteland plus Life from the Loam will be good in some matchups. We'll see if it's one of these. See if it's one of these. Well, maybe it is. I guess what I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be tough because it's like, we won't be able to wasteland them again for like 3 turns, like land, loam, you know. So, and we don't have much in the way of interaction for what the opponent is probably doing. Although, to be honest, I am not quite sure what the opponent's doing. So I guess now the question is, am I trying to play around Blood Moon? Because we've seen Ancient Tomb and this. Defense grid is not as common in the in these like prison lists. That being said, I probably still want to play around Blood Moon a little bit because I'm not sure what I'm playing against yet. Okay. Obviously can't do anything about that. I'll fetch a plains. I can't really, like, even if I ponder for Force of Will, I can't interact with them at all. So I'm just going to cast Loam and hope I'm not dead next turn. Classic, classic Legacy things, right? Just couldn't ponder for interaction, couldn't look for interaction anyway. Just hope you're not dead. Okay, so it's the mono red storm deck. So we're likely dead. Yes. Cast their horn, discard Echo, immediately exile lands out of damage. So yeah. We'll let them do their thing. Well, I know. I actually don't care enough. I actually don't care enough. It's not good content to sit here and watch my opponent play with themselves. So yeah, what do we want? We want Hydroblast to play a lot of red spells. First can stop Echo and stuff. Wasteland is nice. They play a lot of artifacts, so Seeds is good. Sometimes they play this, so this is good. Flusterstorm's good. I think Surgical's probably fine. Like if we Surgical, there's sometimes we can Surgical and like it really puts a damper on what they're trying to do. And then obviously Force of Vigor because they're very artifacts. We'll leave in one verdict for. I want to leave in one verdict for like the Goblin plan. Is that good or bad? I have so many things to cut. This is a problem. Arrow's a little bit sus. Endurance is like okay. I guess Coatl's a little bit weak, but it's a blue card. Best time doesn't really do. No, because sometimes they play. Sometimes they play the. What's that card? I'm blanking on the name, but you know the one. Hearst is probably just worse than Surgical. They play Urza Saga sometimes in the sideboard, so I like leaving it. I want Broker's Charm just because it's like it lets me hold up mana, and then draw 2 if they don't do anything. I could cut a land. Like, no, Karakas is useful. I can still cut a land though. Maybe like a trop, maybe an island. Yeah, we'll cut one island. And then last card to cut. This is tough. That's good. Whatever. This is not good play. Oh, dispute is the cut because it's they don't play that many blue spells. Is that better than any of the other things though? Because like counter unless they pay 3. Yeah. I'll think some more. This one has a Force of Will and a Prismatic Ending, so this one's pretty good. I kept in 2 Swords of Plowshares because sometimes they will just play like the 3-mana creature that like when you cast a spell it adds to your storm count, or it doesn't add to your storm count, it gives you a red mana. The thing I like. I guess I will just fetch the plains and then cast Loam to get my mana set up. Oops. And then I have Force up. I have Seeds next turn if I want it. Depends on what they play out, obviously. Oh, double echo. Okay, well, frustrating. I mean, I guess I just make them use 3 more mana. Going into Force blue card, you know, it's pretty good. Can't ask for too much more. What can they Burning Wish for? Like, the only thing I can wish for that I could see is, yeah, like another Echo, so they have to discard their hand this way. Okay. Because I was thinking about, like, should I force the, yeah, should I force it or not? Okay, cool. Well, some high octane magic. Some no thought, head empty magic going on here. Dispute. Do I want dispute? That's the question. Maybe this is just too weak. It's a green card, but like that's not that important, right? Okay. This is fine. I think I'm supposed to mulligan to Force of Will. Yeah, this is better. Mana bottom the swords, I think that just having double force, double blue card is so important. Obviously I'm forcing this, it's just what am I pitching? I think Hullbreacher in general is a little bit better. Just because it can, if they go for an echo, I can play Hullbreacher and ends. Okay. So let's think. Like a Rite of Flame, Burning Wish. Yeah. Okay, so it might just Reckless Impulse. Here I will force the um, Burning Wish just because they could get goblins, and I would not be able to beat that. Well, okay, let me put it this way. If they tap their Grim Monolith and they cast Burning Wish, I'm definitely forcing it because it means they're going for goblins more likely. If they just use the 2 mana and cast Burning Wish, then I'm not going to force it because it's much more likely that they're going to get Echo and then use the Alliance Eye Diamond. Because if they just have, colorless mana and they pass priority, the only thing they could conceivably get is Echo. Oh, okay, so they are... Nope, they sacked this for mana, which is a decision. All right. The opponent had 2 important things. We had 2 Force of Wills. Some very head empty magic going on right now. We're both on 1 card in hand. I think I'm not going to play the Seeds. I think I'm going to try and get a little bit more out of it. The card I want to draw here is Bant Charm, just because I think it'd be the funniest. So I'll put this into play tapped. What's happening? Burning Wish is being cast. What's being gotten with it? I guess we'll find out. Guess we'll find. Reforge the Soul. Okay. So their plan is to wheel next turn, so I will just cast. I'm just going to cast this. Obviously, their deck has a lot of mana sources, so it's like pretty likely that they'll be able to wheel next turn, but if I play Teferi and bounce a card, they're guaranteed to be able to wheel next turn. And this way, if they can't, then I get to do things. I'm going to... I actually think... I want to plus this turn. They couldn't wheel last turn. Okay. Well, they drew the best possible card. Rite of Flame for 4. Yeah, okay. All right, well, I didn't draw a force this hand. I didn't draw a force this hand. It's a little annoying. But, you know, that's what head empty magic is about sometimes, you know? Alright, so to finish my thought from earlier, I didn't want to draw a card with Teferi because it's like, it's so unlikely that I draw one of the 3 other Force of Wills, and if they do something on their turn, like play out Bergie or play out the other half of Bergie, you know, I want to have the bounce available to return it to hand. At least this was my thought process. My opponent did literally draw out the best, like, ritual in the game for them that they had access to. Um, like everything else creates only like 1 or 2 mana. Um, and they just happened to draw their 2 outer that created 3, which let them, you know, do a bunch of things. But they might have been a little short otherwise. I think right now I'm looking for what? Okay. They drew the 4th Burning Wish. Normal things. All right. Well, that's that empty magic for you. If I had found any of my 5 forces in either of those cards, I think I pretty easily win that. But you know, whatever it happens. We'll be back for round 3. All right, we are back for round 3. We have won the die roll. I think this is a little too risky. I'm going to mulligan it. Obviously, if they're not playing a Wasteland strategy, no, I'll keep it. It's bad if they're playing a Wasteland strategy and drew their Wasteland, and I don't draw a land. But with 4 looks at a second land drop against anything else and a Force of Will in my hand for anything unfair, I think it's good. It's good enough to keep. All right, that's fine. So opponent is a Wasteland strategy. They just didn't have Wasteland in their opener, or chose not to use it. This was a really good Brainstorm. What don't I want? I want everything. That's kind of the problem. I'm going to fetch a Plains and ending the Reclaimer. I think I can put back 1, this, and then I'm going to put back the Ice-Fang Coatl. Force is not the best against the green-white decks. But because I'm not fully sure what type of deck they're on, I still want it. And like some things, it's like nice to have. So of course is fine. I will bounce it with Teferi, and then if they play it next turn, I will end it. And my other thought is like if I really didn't need the Force, I could Brainstorm it. I'm gonna use this to fetch an island because this can get Mystic. Or sorry, I'm a liar. It can't get Mystic Sanctuary, but this can get duels later. Okay. With some plussing here. Just drew Broker's Charm. I really want to use it, you know. It does destroy enchantments though, so I think what I'm going to do is Brainstorm here. I'm gonna put back both Force of Wills. It's bad if we don't draw. If they have like the Natty Dark Depths, and then we don't draw interaction with the two ponders, it's kind of bad. But I think in other cases it's pretty good. So. And even things like Endurance and Ice-Fang Coatl could potentially count as interaction. So, and even then, like if they draw the Natty Depths, Force Wills isn't good anyway. So I think it's just correct to put back the Force Wills and prepare for a long grinded game. Mm. So I want to draw the Verdict and then the Arrow and then the Flooded Strand. Can Archmage's Charm do that? It cannot. I am happy that I drew this Force effect. It's just a matter of what am I supposed to get rid of. I guess I'll get rid of Verdict. Teferi can bounce anything. Ponder's kind of nice with like just such annoying. There's like Verdict is likely going to be like a 4-mana 1/1, which is not what I want. Okay, well, I guess I'm dead to double crop rotation. I guess I'm not dead to double crop rotation. Right, well, I feel like I'm in a good spot now. think I'll play out the Uro. It's like Uro takes a little bit of time to get going, whereas Broker's Charm can always just be cast right away for the value. I'm gonna ponder. I'm gonna look for like Wasteland or Ice-Fang works too. They have a Reclaimer. Do I care about that enough? The sword's it. I think the answer is no. It's just a very slow, like, way to do anything useful. I guess it can get Karakas, but like, I'm not gonna lose the game if my opponent gets Karakas. I have a Wasteland in the deck. I'll be drawing so many cards, it's not gonna matter. Opponent agrees. Okay, green white depths, green white depths. I think this matchup is generally pretty close. You have to be very careful with how you play. I'm going to bring in the second Wasteland. I'm gonna bring in the Run Afoul. Dress Down is like one of your best cards against them. And then I want to try out the Depopulate because I have not brought it in yet. So we're going to try it out. And then I think Force of Negation is pretty bad. You don't want too many Force of Wills. They are like very good at one-for-oneing you a lot. The only thing you'd really want to force is crop rotation. Endurance is like okay, but not great. Just because like it blocks well. It can shrink a thing. Depopulate kind of awkward because they play like Net of the Reliquary and stuff, but I think it's good enough against their things that I want to try it. Dispute is like you could argue it's not good. I think Hullbreacher's a little bit worse or better. Because Dispute can just be 3-mana counterspell and like not as bad as you would think. I'm living in Charm because it's card advantage, ways to kill 7 library. It can also kill Choke, which is a card that these decks play 2, sometimes even 3 of, so definitely very happy to have the option to destroy that. Ooh, opponent on 5 cards, unfortunately. Alright, so here I'm just going to ponder looking for extra mana sources. This is kind of perfect. I will draw the Wasteland and the Swords, and then the Flooded Strand after that. Basically, I think those two cards are going to be the most useful within the next turn cycle, and the Flooded Strand less so. I was gonna say, if they had Library, like that might have been a way for them to get back into the game. I'm just gonna Swords this. It stops me from worrying about like shenanigans too much. They have like Disrupt Rotation or the other card that I'm blanking on the name right now. Flagstones of Jakir, that's the one. Endurance, interesting. Okay. I will take some damage and then use Teferi to deal with it. Is my thought process. I'm probably gonna get a Savannah with the Flooded Strand here, just because choke, you know. So the only thing the red could mean is Red Blast. So I want to get rid of that, basically. As like an option as far as like, oops. This Teferi seems incredibly hard to tap for some reason. Double endurance. Okay. So I could bounce Coatl since the endurance, but I think that making them tap 3 mana and um, saving 3 life is pretty good here. I don't want to chump block with Ice-Fang. So endurance and 1 unknown. Looks like it's green, so let's see. Maybe for like Knight of the Reliquary. Knight of the Reliquary. Oh. I'm gonna Swords that, I believe. And then I know the last card's Endurance. I know I can't block this one yet, so I'm just going to pass. I think if they don't do anything on their turn, I'm just going to draw 2 with Broker's Charm. I'm actually going to fetch a basic Plains, I say. Just be... No, I'll fetch a basic island. There's more ways to get the basic island than the basic Plains from my deck. Oh, that's why I need the Plains. I'm so bad. All right. What I meant to say was that I'm gonna cast Endurance. You know, that's definitely what I meant to say. And I'm actually gonna target neither player's graveyard, just because I don't know how many red sources they play. Here I'm gonna ponder for another lane. These are definitely good lands. And I will attack with the... Oh, wait, no, they have an Endurance hand. I'm not gonna do that. That's a bad idea. If they had played their Endurance end step and attacked with both, I would have had a nice line where could have blocked with one and then used this to give it +1 power and kill the other one, and get rid of both of them in combat. That would have been sweet. Didn't happen though, so I will just take my... Then now I can fetch Mystic Sanctuary and do it again if I really want to. I'll just pass. Obviously, I do want to start killing my opponent, but like my life total is a little bit low, and the 1 damage doesn't matter. Another Swords is definitely what we were looking for. Now I can play an Escape Uro in 1 turn. Gets around Endurance. I probably don't mind the other. The other Ponder is totally fine. Leaving it to keep Charm in the graveyard. Perfect. Well, they have the Swords. Do I care? This is kind of my way to win the game, but I have another Uro on the deck. Also, I can start attacking with Endurance eventually. I don't know why I shuffled those. Those were probably fine. Oh, I wonder if they play Field of the Dead in their deck. Certainly possible. But I have the Wastelands for it, so it's like it's not too much of a concern. I guess they just want to protect us from Wasteland while they can. That makes a lot of sense to me. Like until it copies something else, I can't. And that's better than doing nothing with your man. That's fine. Eventually I'll start forcing these spells, but not yet. White. I actually don't think I need any more card advantage here. So what I'm going to do is the trick I talked about, which is give my Coatl Death Touch. And then use the Broker's Charm to kill their Endurance. And because Teferi's in play, nothing bad can happen here, which I like. Interesting. I wonder what they... Maybe just to thin their library? I guess that's probably why. I guess I'll put a stop here in case I want to Wasteland something. Yeah. Ah, okay. Now I understand what the opponent was doing. They wanted red mana. That's pretty smart of them. Luckily, we had the Wasteland there. And they concede. Which I think is fine. Like, obviously, I'm very, very ahead. I would find a way to win the game eventually. Probably just between Wasteland Loam and finding the last Uro, get there. All right, that was the set. I will come back for the end of set review. All right, welcome back for the end of set review. We ended up going 2-1. We defeated Green-White Depths and 4-color midrange, and we lost to the Epic Gamble. I think we got a little bit unlucky to lose the way we did. They, drew their best possible ritual, and then we looked at 14 cards and didn't see one of our 5 Force of Wills. Or Force of Vigor, also I think would have been pretty good. But hey, that is part of the game. That happens sometimes. The deck felt pretty solid. It's just doing band things. The band charm was actually, or I should say Broker's Charm, surprisingly impressive, actually. We got to use each mode once, the draw 2, the kill a thing with Coatl, and the destroy an enchantment. It seemed pretty versatile. I actually pretty liked it a good amount actually. Didn't mind having it around, and just anything that is like playable and ups your green count for endurance is pretty good as well. One thing I will say is, other than the Nissa in the sideboard, this deck can be a little bit light on win cons, so it's like maybe that's like a slight retooling, but either way, this is the deck. I enjoyed casting Ice-Fang Coatl again. It's been a while since that card has been in the metagame, and I'm happy that I found a good card to synergize with it. So yeah, those were the games, and I hope you enjoyed. I will see y'all soon. Bye.